Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics show. I am your host, Tom Kelly. With me, as always, my crew of compadres, James Scorza.
What's up?
Joe Marks.
What is happening, Philly?
Frank Finnegan.
Happy playoff weekend.
And Dave Yarnall.
How's everybody doing?
We are expecting, we're on a little delay, folks, so you'll have to excuse us. Everybody's kind of in their own houses today. We're not in studio. Waiting on Damon Salim. He's probably, I hope he's not outside the studio right now getting ready to walk in. I don't think he is.
He probably is.
That would be some crazy stuff. But before we get into the stuff at hand, right? Let me get into some of the sponsors here. For the program, Edge of Philly hats. They come in 4 different colors: green and cream, black and white, charcoal and red, and charcoal and orange. If you head on over to edgeofphilly.com, please sign up for the newsletter and grab yourself one of these fine hats. I have a couple of them. I love them. They're great just for everyday use and to show your support for EOP. Popple brand virtual business cards. It's like a band that goes around your wrist, or a little pod that you can see in the picture here that goes on the back of your phone. Someone holds their phone over it, and any information that you want them to have, you input onto the into the Popple setup, and it'll be readily available on their phone. So it's the future. It's the way I think business cards are all heading. So if you head on over to my Facebook page, Tom Kelly, and you look in the bio, there's a link, and you can get 20% off your Popple purchases today. Let me get into some of the fine shows here on the network, starting with the Broad Street Bullies podcast. Drew Doyle and Jeff bringing the laughs and bringing the knowledge when it comes to your Flyers hockey on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. You got Birds IQ with Kyle, Eric, and Matt Quinn. They're on Thursdays at 7 p.m. I have the honor of producing that show for the fellas. It's a great show. Had an awesome show this past Thursday, getting geared up for this playoff game. Philly Press Box Radio with Jim Chet Chesko and Bill Furman. They're on Wednesdays at 7 p.m., one of my favorite shows. So head on over and check those boys out. And, of course, the EOP show. Big Al, Freddie Burns, Joe Sheeran, Wednesdays at 9:30. Tune in there. And for all you lacrosse heads out there, nobody in the business does it better than Kevin and Gary over at Lax Philly. They got live shows coming soon, articles, videos, and much more over at edgeofphillysports.com. And I don't have all my normal graphics because, again, we're not in studio, but I did want to talk to you guys real quick about Philly Sports Trips. If you head on over to phillysportstrips.com, you can see Vince and the crew. They have packages for upcoming events. They're down in Tampa right now, the whole 9 yards. 97.5 The Fanatics down there. Our friends over at Broad Street South are teaming up with those guys as well, doing a lot of big things coming up here, but especially during football season. But they run Sixers trips, they run Phillies trips. They do it all. So if you head on over to phillysportstrips.com, you'll see some of the packages. I'm sure you'll be blown away. And also, I wanted to talk to everybody real quick. Tomorrow, down at South House in South Philly, 2535 South 13th Street. We're doing a pre and post game. The EOP guys will be down there. Some of the folks you're seeing on this show right now will be down there. Stop out, have a beer, have some of the best wings that I've ever eaten in my life. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. It's going to be a great time down there. And hopefully we can watch, the Birds smack the goat around a little bit and maybe come out of here with a win. Wouldn't that be special? But so what's going on, boys? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Hey man,
I'm
we're here.
excited.
You're excited.
I am excited.
As you should be. Your team's in the playoffs.
Teams in the playoffs. It's a new season. Good morning, Frank.
Hey,
Frank on Facebook. On Facebook checking in. I'm batting 1,000 already.
Is that the new thing now, Chasebook?
It's Facebook. Hey, dial up. I'll change your name. Don't mess with me.
Right.
So, look, I wanted to start off before we get into some playoff talk. Before we get into the Eagles, I wanted to start off with the Sixers. Dude, how huge has Joel Embiid been for this team? I understand throughout his career here as a 76er, but in this season in particular, with everything that's going on with Ben and everything. What time is it? 9:05.
9:05.
9:05. Yeah.
I just dropped my car off at Mavis. Good morning. I had to drop my car off at Mavis.
What did I just say he was going to do it from the car? Did I just say
well, I'm going home. I had to drop my car off at Mavis. I blew my tire out when the sun was gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we don't play. We're out there getting errands done while we're bringing a show to you. Let me just tell
amazing.
You, I couldn't have asked for a better crew of guys here.
Don't ever let it be said that men can't multitask.
Exactly.
That's right.
I would tell you. I don't want to tell you what I'm doing over here, but anyway. So as far as multitasking,
whatever's below the camera, we don't want to know about.
Yeah, seriously.
God only knows.
So Dame
he's got the vacuum cleaner.
Frank and I were off. Frank and I were off by 1 minute. We called 9:06. Dame.
I had you 9:10.
Well, you're a Cowboy fan. You know what you're doing.
Right.
So I was just asking the fellas. I was asking the fellas, Dame, how big has Embiid been? I know throughout his entire career here at the Sixers, he's been massive. But this season alone, with everything that's going on with basically his co-star of the last 4 seasons or what have you, not being available this year, not being there for him this year. How big has he been for this team?
Great question, man. He's been fantastic to watch because you're actually seeing the growth in his game. Both, I think, his condition is off the chart this year. He's leaner, more athletic, smarter, patient, really understanding the knowledge of the game. And it's funny, last night, I said to myself, when Doc in his post-game said, we'll be ready for Miami tonight, and he said it twice, I said to myself, Doc's like, we have a 7'2" guy that can play guard, center, power forward, small forward, and I can do amazing things with this guy. And so now you're seeing, and just hopefully, shout out to Thibault, man. Hopefully he's okay, man. That fall was like, whoa.
That fall was nasty. That was a nasty fall. I saw that.
Yeah, and it was like he plays like a cornerback position with the steals, but just everyone's playing off of Joe, man. It's not. Now, the only thing that scared me, TK and fellas, last night was he thought he was Jordan coming from the free throw line and Dr. J at the same time. I'm like, no. Other than that.
Yo, you would have said no, but if he would have nailed it, you would have been like, oh my God.
Yeah, but please don't
Joe,
ever do
I
that
would have, but it just I'm over the end. I just sometimes he just gets like a kid with a big piece of bubble gum. I'm like, he gets excited.
And that ball landed 15 rows in the stands when he dunked it.
You know it. Hey, I want to say what's up, James Fratantoni. Good morning, my brother. Freddie Burns checking in. Fred, we love you. We're thinking about you. And
what's up, Freddie?
We are.
Yep.
Yes,
love you very much, brother. Hashtag Freddie Strong for sure.
Freddie Strong.
That's one of our EOP family members there, Freddie Burns for sure. And my man Mike Fuji checking in. I'm gonna see Fuji tomorrow. I think he's gonna stop down to the South House. What's going on, Fuji?
Mr. Fuji.
Big obviously, big day tomorrow. We'll definitely get into some birds, but I did want to start with the Sixers again. Now there's rumors of Tobias being packaged with Ben in trade talks. Frank, I'll kick this to you first. Do you want him moved as well? Do you want him to stay here? What are your thoughts on some of these rumors that are coming out now?
Well, if Morey can pull off unshackling the Sixers' salary base by trading both of those guys, that would be a miracle.
Yeah,
because I don't know who's
$70 million or something like that.
That's a lot of money, Frank. That's a lot of money.
I don't think it's realistic to think that they can move Tobias simply because of the number associated with him. Ben is going to go no matter what, and it kind of looks like he's going to go to Sacramento. I think we're going to get the Aaron Fox.
Yeah, I would take the Aaron Fox.
So Ben's going to be king. Is what you're telling me?
Yeah, well, he's going to be playing for the Kings, but he's really a joker.
I haven't. Very nice. I haven't heard many names out there that I would want over De'Aaron Fox at this point that are legitimate trade rumors that are associated.
No, there's only one other guy, and he's up in Portland, and he hasn't decided that he wants to leave yet. So
your boy Dan,
right? Yeah, it still may happen. I mean, he still may get before the deadline. He still may get to the point where like, okay, I can't play here.
Yeah.
Do you really think this is going to happen before the deadline, Frank?
Probably not.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to tell you, if it doesn't happen before the deadline, it'll be hard next year.
Yeah.
I don't think so. So.
Isn't the deadline February 10th? Is that my correct on that?
Yes.
Okay.
I think actually, Frank, it'll be more defined. What I mean by that in the off season, because teams are able to. All right, so Harden didn't re-sign with the Nets, and I think that's a possibility because of his relationship with Morey. I think the off season teams are often more open-minded, if you will, to move contracts, move disgruntled players. So I think if it didn't happen, I don't think anything's going to happen major as far as Ben before the deadline. I think it's an off-season deal.
Yeah, I think
it's going to all be based on how other teams perform in the playoffs as well, or how those teams perform in the playoffs will determine what moves they're going to make moving forward. And I don't think Tobias is a part of any trade package.
Can you see Harden as a Sixer though? Can you see Harden as a Sixer? I don't know.
At one time, no, but now I do. I wouldn't be surprised.
I can absolutely see him as a Sixer.
The embarrassment of riches that I was thinking about as far as a hypothetical trade, it actually had to do with what Dave had brought up a couple different times on this show about Bradley Beal.
Mm-hmm.
When Tobias Harris came into the conversation about moving him with Ben Simmons, my feeling was it had to be a 3-team deal.
Oh, absolutely.
So last week, someone brought up, would you trade Ben for Herter, Bogdanovich, and Reddish? And, if you're taking a 3-team deal with the Wizards, the Hawks, and the Sixers, and if you're Morey, you're able to move Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons to whomever on either side. Maybe Ben goes to the Hawks, and then Tobias goes to the Wizards with Danny Green, and then Beal, Herter, Bogdanovich, and Reddish come to the Sixers. That would be an embarrassment of riches.
I would love that.
That would be an embarrassment of riches.
Speaking of,
but Cam just got traded to the Knicks, though. Cam just got traded to. No, I'm sorry. Didn't he? Who just got traded to the Knicks? I think Cam Reddish just got traded to the Knicks.
Well,
I didn't hear that.
It would be probably John Collins then that would take his spot in that trade.
Frank.
Yeah, they just swapped.
Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I thought Cam, because Cam played for the Hawks, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he went to the Knicks for Knox, for Kevin Knox. Yeah, okay. What was reported the other day? I don't know why they haven't brought it back up, but apparently that trade went through. Or was supposed to go through, or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Fuji's checking in. He's asking, how much will the Sixers have to eat up money-wise with those contracts?
Whoa.
Well, it would kind of be a wash. I mean, you would be dumping $75 million.
That's crazy.
You'd be taking back that money, but
it depends on how you would take it back. If you took back like one heavy-handed contract that would be expiring after this year, you take
that would be
taking on the chin.
That would be awesome. That's what I want. I want contracts that are expiring.
But see, I don't want Harris to go. I'm a Harris guy. I like Harris. I don't want him to go.
I'm with you too. I like to buy
want Ben to go either, Dave. You sentimental bastard.
I know, but it's Ben. I know, but I like Toby. I do. I'm a fan.
I do too.
I like Tobias a lot too. Oh, I
like Toby as a number 3, but as a number 2 guy, he's not the guy.
Right, exactly. I definitely like him as a number 3. More.
I think he's worn out his welcome. He's gone.
No, Joe. I don't think that at all. I think
he's really stepping up lately.
Tobias definitely has a role. He definitely has a role on this team.
Not for the amount of money he's being paid. The stats that he's being paid.
Joe, he looks not worth his money because he's put into a role that he shouldn't be in, and he shouldn't be the number 2 guy.
Frank's right.
Right,
he's supposed to be the number 3.
Right, but he's shooting less than 40%. So that's not a role thing. That's a skill thing.
Actually, I think it is a role thing because
you're handling all the pressure. More.
All the pressure dumps down on him. Pressure that number 25, I won't say his name, number 25 would normally take off of him.
That's what he's known as.
Applied to him. Yeah. It's now being applied to him.
I agree with that one. I agree with Frank.
He's the second guy.
Shall not be named.
He who shall not be named, exactly.
Right. I think that because he has to assume that role as the number 2 go-to, he's not capable of that. He's just not.
Right. Like the old saying goes, Frank. Pressure either bursts pipes or builds diamonds.
That's true. That's true.
But Joe, here's the thing. See, I have these conversations with my students. Oh, Tobias is trash. I'm like, he's not trash. Stop.
He's not trash.
I know Tobias is not a 30-point scorer. He's just not. He's a 22, 24. That's what he is. And so when I accepted his, understanding what he is, maybe the money is a little bit more than worth, and but that's starters money in that league. When I look at it, I go, it's starters money. Like Frank said, he was thrust into the role as a number 2 when he's really the number 3. He has a. Right. I don't really see the movement. But here's the thing. I'll ask you guys this. Post game last night, big fella said we have everything we need. Now, I don't think that was just shop talk. I think he honestly believes that intact, with everyone healthy, they have the pieces to do what they want to do.
If you look at the last couple games,
they need a point guard. I believe they need a point guard.
If you look at the last couple games, you would say
need another piece.
Wrong.
They need another piece. Yeah. Absolutely need another piece.
I think they need another point guard.
Dave.
I think
at this point, I'm not moving Thibault. I literally have written down in my notes here. At this point, I'm not moving Maxey or Thibault. I want to build with these guys.
Maxey's playing out. Maxey's playing out of his mind. Maxey's playing out of his mind right now. I mean, he's shooting the ball really well lately. If you guys noticed.
You know what? I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what Maxey develops into with a couple of years of tempering. I think he's got the potential to be a really, really, really good point. I think he has it there.
You know the beauty of it, Frank? Let's say he was on a Detroit Pistons, right? Or a Houston Rocket team where he would have to carry them. On this team, obviously he doesn't have to carry them. He's doing what we needed 25 to do. He's giving us 18 points, doesn't turn the ball over. He's attacking, and Doc's figuring out, this is how I'm going to use this guy. We can push. They're doing, actually, other than the defense, he's doing what Ben was. He's pushing the ball. Doc's getting them to push the ball more so that they can have that pace that they want. And he's shooting the ball.
Right. Yeah, but Dame, he's playing a lot of minutes too. Dame, he's playing a lot of minutes too. I mean, he's on the floor a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he's getting a lot.
He's playing with both the starters and the backup.
This is graduate education for him.
Well, I get it, but you don't want to waste him either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's got a lot.
I don't think.
I mean, you can play Joseph, and he's not that bad. I mean,
I think.
I don't think you're wasting. I think that's intentional. They want him to run with the backups. That's intentional.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Build that rapport with them as well.
Yeah, but if you're up 22 or 18, he doesn't have to be on the floor. There's no reason for that.
Think about it. If you bring in another point guard, he may be running with those backups. So depending on at the trade line and any kind of moves you make, so I think he wants to build that rapport with both. With both.
That's what I'm saying. So he's running with both starters and the backups. I get it, but you don't want to waste him either.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what you're saying, Tom. Is the reason why I think they might want to bring in another point guard and keep them closer to the bench guys is because they want to build up that potential before they just throw them into the starting rotation.
Yeah, it's always a lot better if you can build a rapport with your teammates.
But I love the effort on this team. I really do. These guys are playing really you could just see that the aggressiveness on this team is really good lately.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah. There's two things that I've noticed with this team that weren't there for the last couple of years. First of all, the pick and roll. Joel is he's finally getting a handle on what he's supposed to do with this, and
he's trusting his shooters, Frank.
Yeah, it looks beautiful when it works, and I think the unsung hero of this team is Curry. Because his development in his own game, I think, has enabled to do the Sixers what they're doing this year.
In the words of Dave, we have a Curry.
He's not his brother, but he's a damn good player. And And the thing about it is you can tell the kid wants to work. He works and works and works to get himself better. Just because you can see the progression from last year's game to this year's game. He's a different player.
Yeah, he is, for sure.
Yeah.
Look, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if he was here, long term. Sign him. Sign me up for that.
I love Curry. I do.
Sign him up and Andre the Drummond. You must resign Andre the Drummond,
baby.
Yeah.
Andre the Drummond.
Did you hear what Drummond did the other day?
No.
Yes, Joey. Tell him, Joey.
He had a bad free throw game.
Mm-hmm.
He shot, I think it was like 2 for 10 or whatever it was from the free throw line.
I think he went 0 for 4, Joe. I think he went 0 for 4 on the free throw line.
After the game, he asked 2 assistant coaches right after the game to stay on the court with him, and he shot free throws.
Wait a minute. Somebody actually stayed and shot.
Held himself accountable.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
yes, sir.
I got to work on this. Look, this town will love you forever if they see you doing shit like that.
I saw Mr. Drummond take the floor yesterday and take it full court. I was very surprised on that.
Man, I saw that too. Throwing his body around a little bit.
Hungry. He is hungry for a championship.
I like Andre. I do.
James, this next one, I'm gonna kick your way real quick. But first, I'd just like to say, not breaking character. I just smashed my toe on this desk, and I didn't even bat an eye at it. So I want to let you guys know how great way not to break the fourth wall, my friend. Yeah, I got it. James, this team's only 3.5 games back. Over the next week or two, I mean, could they make a run at first place in the East right now? What do you think, James?
Yeah, I think the team is very complex. I think the one team, last year they had obviously first place in the conference, but this team is a lot better than it was last year, gotta admit, because they got so many pieces on the team. Like Drummond's a good piece. Maxi's coming in and playing great point guard position. Yeah, I think if the Sixers can keep this up, I think they can be the odds-on favorite of winning the first place. And last night, Zach LaVine is out with a injury. That could be big for us to win that conference in first place, in my opinion.
Joe, how about you?
Did anybody
say that again?
What do you think about them being 3.5 games back of the Bulls right now? The Bulls and the Heat are, have the same amount of wins. I mean, can this team, with the way they've been playing, make a move and go after this number 1 spot in the East?
Absolutely. And here's the thing to really keep in mind, and we've been saying this all season, is that if they were able to do this and capture the first seed in the East with their one hand tied behind their back, essentially.
It's still early, Joey. It's still early.
I know, I get that, but what I'm getting at is this. We've had this conversation last year too, Dave. You said this before, and then they still captured the first seed. My point is this: is that if they are able to still do this, climb that chart to get to that first seed with essentially one hand tied behind their back, and by the trade deadline, God willing, we're able to make a move to get 2-5 out of here and bring in somebody who can actually take the court and help this team in the long stretch of things. I understand that Daryl Morey wants a top 30 guy. At this point, any guy that's in the league is scoring more than 2-5 because 2-5 has currently 0 points.
He has as many as you.
Yeah, exactly.
As many as all of us.
Give me a basketball and let me go to Wells Fargo. I'll have more points than he will.
There you go.
You're not allowed in there, Joe. I told you.
Joe, you're not allowed in there. You got to go somewhere else.
Mush.
I'm of this
Sorry,
mind.
Frank. Go ahead.
I'm of this mind. Daryl Morey has waited this long.
Joey, go to Brooklyn and let you in.
I do not want to settle for just somebody who's actually scored more points than 25 because he hasn't scored any. I want who, by the way, announced this week that he would be ready to play in 2 weeks to any team that would take him. Did you hear that this week?
He did. He said that.
Yes,
I have heard that.
So wait a minute. He wouldn't even be ready. He wouldn't even be ready. He wouldn't even be ready when they signed him. It was going to take him 2 weeks.
He said it would be. He said I could be up to full speed in 2 weeks.
He announced this after the Rich Paul, Daryl Morey, Elton Brand lunch.
I'll be looking out for that. That's for sure.
And by the way, Rich Paul sat courtside at the Hornets game. That's why we lost, Joey. It was Rich Paul's fault, Joey.
Didn't you hear they were giving him a hard time at the
audience.
Sixers game? They were giving him a hard time. I don't know if
That's
it was last
funny.
night's game, but yeah.
Yeah, that's some big Kahuna, PK.
That Hornets game was tough. That Hornets game was like they just couldn't come back from that. I mean, every time they tried, they made a run. They just couldn't. They kept dying, and like
they look like a team that had just come off a long road trip and had no legs left.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, I don't know.
It happens.
Back on their
I mean, like the game they played against who was it? The Heat a couple weeks back, who had like 14 guys from the G League on the team, and they lost to that team.
Yeah,
I mean, it just you get those games. It's like brain farts.
I mean, you can't win every game, but
I didn't realize they had beaten them 16 times in a row.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, I didn't know they had beaten them 16 times in a row. I was like, whoa. And Joe had never lost to the Hornets up until that game. He was 13-0, so it happened.
Well, the Hornets were due for one, I guess, right?
Joe, to get back to your point, I think that Daryl Morey hasn't waited this long just to take a guy.
Oh, I understand that, but at this point, you have to get that. You have to get this team together if you're going to make a run.
I think what's going to happen if it's going to happen, it's going to be closer to the deadline.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a team that thinks they have a shot.
I think it's going to be the 11th hour. Honestly, I honestly do.
And if it doesn't happen then it's going to be off season. And Dame, I believe Harden's going to be here.
And I would not be surprised if
and the other thing is interesting too, though, Frank, Joe. Like when you say that. So, like, if they were, like, in the 8th seed or on that, or was it 9th or 10th seed, the play-in team?
Yeah.
Now, Morey's a little bit more desperate. But the fact is, we've seen this team, when healthy, play well, beat the good teams as well, right?
Right.
We got to get that home record a little bit better because they have the best road record in the league. So
they're 500. They're 500 at home, right?
Yeah,
look, I think one game above. But it's like now, he's looking at it like, we do have something. I don't want to just make a move for the sake of making. I want to make a move that's going to be the right move to move us forward, right? Because you don't want to do something to disrupt the chemistry that they're building. And I agree with TK. Thibault and Maxey are off. They're young staples that you must maintain in this organization right now. You don't want to get that up. And Damian Lillard.
Keeping with that thought, Dame, there's going to be a team that's sitting at 8, 9 play-in that is desperate. That'll give you more than they should give you for 25.
Right.
And let's keep in mind of something too. If he lasts to the offseason, we're not just talking about the idea of trading him for just player for player. There could be picks in play with some of that. So you're talking about also putting more vital youth around Maxey and Thibault going forward, which I would hate.
Replenish to moving forward.
Yeah. And look, for all that it's worth with Embiid and what people say his window is, this guy is looking like he's hitting his apex now.
Yeah.
Right.
I have
hey guys,
he looks like he touched the fountain of youth. He looks great, man.
Doesn't he? It's amazing.
Can I just say this again? I'm loving the Andre the Giant and Embiid lineup. Because Frank, they move Embiid to the 4. Embiid plays the 4. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
But, and you're loving it. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. So you know why? I've never seen a guy 7'2" playing like this. Like this is. I'm watching this before our eyes, man, and knowing where he came from, right? Knowing his journey to get to this point. I'm just enjoying it, man. And these guys are feeding off of it, man.
So
I just want them to get over the hump in the playoffs.
Either Frank James or Damon, help me out here. Who was the partner to Clyde Drexler in Portland back in the day? Who was the other big guy?
You had
it wasn't Elijah.
Terry Porter.
Terry Porter. Yes. Yeah. Terry Porter.
Terry Porter. And you had
it wasn't
who
Elijah.
Was this center? He died. Kevin
Elijah was in Houston.
Kevin Duckworth was okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, he didn't really have much.
But that's what this Drummond and Embiid lineup reminds me of a little bit. of that
kind of like
Portland Trailblazer.
Dame, is this like Samson and Olajuwon type deal?
Kinda. You know what's funny? The only reason that didn't work, Samson's knee. Right?
Yeah, is it like Tim Duncan and the Admiral, maybe?
Maybe, possibly.
No bet.
I like all these names. I like all these names.
James, our friend, look who it is. It's Norm.
Norm checking in. Good morning, guys. Good luck to both NFC teams this weekend. Thank you, Norm Deal over at Deals on Wheels up there in St. Clair, PA. Real quick, my last question. My last Sixers question.
You're on today.
Before we transition, I know, right? I was on fire last week. Now I'm stumbling over everything this week. That's all right. 20 years from now, when we look back on the 2-5 situation, we'll call it.
20 years from now.
Hold on. I won't say his name. Will it be a for who, for what type situation where we'll never, ever forget where we were or who the Birds were playing, who they happen to be playing tomorrow when that game happened? Or will it just be forgotten and kind of drift off into the sunset? Is this something that we're going to remember in the lore of Philly sports, how this guy acted?
Well,
I think so.
I think what's going to make cement the memory.
Dude, you're still talking about Jaravicius going down the field. Why would we forget this?
Yeah,
I'll get there. We're going there next.
If what happens with what Morey does has a profound impact on the court, we will remember it forever.
Right.
Either way,
I agree.
Either way,
I agree on
negative or positive. I mean, right now he is the
interesting
greatest villain in Philadelphia sports history. Right now, he's the greatest villain. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, greatest teammate, but he's still a villain. Love it.
Yeah, he's not the greatest teammate.
I'm saying he's a teammate, but yet he's a villain at the same time. Is what I'm saying.
Well, no,
he's not a teammate. He's not a teammate. He's not there with his team.
But he's still a part of the organization, T. That's what I'm saying. Like he's still on the 76ers.
I know, Dave. What does that have to do with it? If you're a part of the Pattison Ave Phanatics, but you're not down there in the bottom right on my screen ever, any day, you might be part of the organization, but you're not bringing anything to the table, which you do every week, Dave. Right. But he's not bringing anything to the table. No, seriously. Everybody that's in here brings something to the table. Ben Simmons right now isn't bringing anything to the table other than an unnecessary distraction.
You said his name.
Don't say his name. Right. See, you're off today.
Oh, man, it's not like I said it in the mirror 3 times. He's going to appear behind me or something.
Yeah, number 25
for you with an engagement ring.
My God! All right. Well, look, I want to transition into some Eagles talk here because I know
why would we isn't do that?
Quite as. Yeah, right.
Are they playing?
There's not anything going on or anything like that in Eagles world right now. The beginning of this season, I know everybody gave their predictions, but at the beginning of this season, did anybody see this team making the playoffs?
Yes.
No.
Joey did,
even with my 10-7 pick, I didn't know if it would be enough.
If 10 wins doesn't get you into the playoffs, I don't know.
There's other divisions.
Joey, there has been times where teams have won 10 games and not got in.
And there's times where teams have won 7 games and gotten in.
And they're not right.
Yes. I even though I picked them to go 10-7, and I realized it was a lofty. Just looking at it, with a first year head coach, and even though
closer than most,
even though he played 4 games a year before, basically a first year starting quarterback. Even though I picked 10-7, I picked 10-7 for a different reason than what we're seeing now. I thought our defense would, be doing what they're doing now, but the offense, they're when they switched over to running the football with consistency behind this offensive line.
Took them 6 weeks to figure it out.
You found a way to play to your team's strength. So, James, I'll ask you. I know you picked them to have 4 or 5 wins at the beginning of the season. So I know your answer is no as far as playoff goes. But did you see them being anywhere near this in the beginning of the season?
It's funny. It's just when we made our schedules out to be what it's supposed to be, I thought it was going to be a rebuilding season. I thought it would be nothing big. But now it's they made the playoffs. It's it's everything's on the table now. Like they are just like coming in like with something to prove. Well, not something to prove, but they have like no strings attached. You know, they could go into Tampa Bay tomorrow and obviously win. And you know, I got a good feeling about it.
I look
absolutely,
at it,
Dame. I'm gonna mute you until you get in the house, Dame. Just until you get in and get set up. That way, that way we can hear. Sorry, Frank. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, at the beginning of the season, I said 5 or 6 wins, and I mean, you know, there were a lot of good reasons for that. I mean, you know, new coach, relatively new quarterback, new system on defense, new system on offense. I mean, it was just way too many hurdles to get over. The fact that, and I told you back then, and I said, I want to see something progress. I want to see something progress so that we can have hope. And when they made the change from that 40 passes a game offense into a running game, it's no surprise. This offensive line is for real.
Yeah, man.
And it's going to be for real for a long time. For a long time.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's, I mean, that's the biggest difference to me. I mean, you know, their defense is playing better now because I think they've adapted a little bit. But their offensive line, to me, is why they are where they are. You know,
100%.
They just dominate. They just dominate. And I think they're going to dominate tomorrow.
I would love to see that.
And that's the thing, because it's like I said, when we made our schedules out, we didn't expect them to make the playoffs. But now it's like even though they made the playoffs and they lose tomorrow, knock on wood, but it's a successful season. It's like,
there's no doubt in my mind it's a successful season. I really want to see Hurts play well tomorrow. It wouldn't bother me if they lost, but I really want to see him play well. I don't want to see him give the game up. You know, right. I want to see him rise to the moment. I mean, you know, you are playing the defending Super Bowl champions. They are, however, leaking oil. You know, even though
they got some guys, they do have some guys coming back though. You can't really say that too much.
I understand that, but the last 8 weeks, they have not been able to stop the run. They're really struggling with the run game on defense, right. Even though they're ranked 3rd right now. Mm-hmm. The last 8 weeks, I think they're ranking like 26th against.
Well,
the run.
Fournette's back too. Fournette's back tomorrow. So
Fournette's back, but he's nursing a hamstring and he's going to be on a slippery track. How long is he going to be out there, Dave?
That's true.
That's my point with this running game.
They have a couple guys with hamstring injuries that are going to play tomorrow that are not. Well, it's not a good idea to put them out there.
So I agree.
On those temperatures too.
It's going to be 77 and rain, but you know.
Well, it's going to be like.
But that's before the game. The rain's.
Yeah, right. They said it's supposed to stop about 11 o'clock. They said or something like that.
But the wind is going to be all day long. The wind is going to be.
Oh yeah, the wind will be blowing. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll help the Eagles because. You know, Tom's not going to be able to throw the passes he wants to throw.
Right, exactly. And as far as the running game goes, the one thing you do to Tom Brady is keep the ball out of his hands as much as you possibly can. I think it's been talked about for years and years and years. That's if you're going to beat the Patriots, if you're going to beat them, not like the Eagles did in the Super Bowl, but if you're going to do to them, if you're going to beat them, you need to run the ball and keep it out of Brady's hands is essentially what you need to do. And the Eagles, are we number 1 in the league in rushing? In a bunch of different categories.
Yes. So, we are number 1 in the league in rushing. Attempts, yards. I mean,
I don't care how good their front 4 or 5 or whatever you want to call it is. This offensive line is second to no one in this league. I personally feel.
Their offensive line is beast mode. I mean, it's incredible. And you know, you look at the development and holy buckets, the future is just great with that.
Well, like we said, it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. You don't know.
Dave, what do you think? What are you thinking about the Cowboys tomorrow, Dave? You think they handle the Niners easily?
I'm upset that all these experts are picking the 49ers to win this game. I don't know.
I don't get all that.
I don't get it either. I mean, Dallas
heard a lot of that this week too.
Because the Cowboys are leaking oil.
There are 3. Yeah, we're healthy, Joey. Thank you. Anyway, they're a 3-point favorite. They're at home. I think they win 27-17. I don't see Garoppolo doesn't scare me.
You don't think Garoppolo's going to?
I think Debo will be a handful. That's for sure.
And
yeah.
And Ayuk too. Like I said, Parsons is back.
That's Niners defense doesn't scare you?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Bosa,
I think they lose the game.
If they shut him down, no, I don't think they lose the game. I think Dallas wins.
I think they lose the game. I think they lose the game.
Based on what, Frank? Based on what? I mean, come on, we're the highest point offense in the league. I don't see Dak not having a game. I mean, if they put 30 on the board, they're going to win the game.
Let's put it this way.
See, I don't see them getting 30.
I mean, the Niners. The Niners came back from the Rams of 17-0. They should not have won that game. I mean,
I don't.
They don't scare me.
I think. Well,
they should.
I think they should because I think they're gonna take.
I mean, is the matchup? You know, it is what it is. But
understand something, Dave. The Niners have everything to gain and nothing to lose.
But they were 16 for a reason, right? I mean,
no, but they squeaked in because they went on a run with their defense.
Well, they were down 17-0 at half, Joey. I mean, come on. I mean, you thought, you know,
right to a team that has a quarterback that is used to really not executing when he needs to execute.
Well, Stafford's not actually 100% either. I mean,
and here's the thing:
he's that rib injury, you know.
Cooper and Zeke play really small in the playoffs. Really small.
Joey, we haven't been in the playoffs since 2018, so you really can't say that. I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Well, that should tell you a lot there too.
Well, we beat. Like I said, we
a team that doesn't have a lot of playoff experience.
See, I think
Dak's last playoff run. Dak's last playoff win was against Russell Wilson, so that tells me something. You know.
Yeah, I think San Francisco's gonna make Dak beat them, and.
Well, you know what Shanahan's going to do. He's going to run the ball. Shanahan's going to run the ball. That's what he does. I mean, you know, but we'll see.
Pat Bernard checks in. He says, "Hey, fellas." He also asks Dave, what if the Cowboys fail? Are you out on McCarthy?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No.
How can you not?
He has a 3-year contract. He's not going anywhere. We were 12-5. We won the division. What more do you want from the guy? Come on. After a 6-10 season last year. And he turned it around. Come on, you can't be guard that.
I can't argue with. I can't argue with that. If
we were 6-10 last year, we got the number 3 seed. We're 12-5. Won the division. What more can I ask for?
All right. Are you worried about losing any of your coordinators?
Dan Quinn, yes, but I don't think
gone.
Dan might go to Denver. You know what though? I don't know because he keeps saying he's happy here. He wants to play. He likes being here. I don't know. We'll see. I know money talks. I get it, but
Kellen Moore, do you think Kellen Moore
get it?
Kellen Moore can go for all I care. Honestly, I mean,
wow.
I mean, I'm okay with that, but I want Dan Quinn. I mean, if anybody, you keep Dan Quinn because Dan Quinn's a former head coach, and if McCarthy were to go, you could put Quinn in that spot, and I'm okay with it. Really. So.
See, that would scare me.
Why? He took Atlanta to the Super Bowl. What more do you want?
No. What would scare me is if McCarthy went and they made Quinn the head coach. That would scare me. He took it.
Like I said, he took Atlanta to the Super Bowl, didn't he?
And blew a 21-point lead.
I mean,
but Joey, he got there. That's my point. Is he got there? It's not. I mean, he took Matt Ryan to the Super Bowl. That's very.
So did the Buffalo Bills 3 years in a row, but that don't make a damn of a difference.
Okay,
4 years in a row.
4 years. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I always say the Eagles were the Buffalo Bills of the NFC Championship game in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
but I mean, like I said, it was a huge turnaround for them. Like I said, they were 6-10. They won the division, 12-5, and they went 6-0 in the division. So I can't ask for more than that.
No, you can't.
You know?
You can't. No, I told you at the beginning of the season that you were going to beat us twice. I mean, I knew.
You said that. Yeah, you said that.
I you know.
Well, to be fair, Frank, they beat the third-string COVID team.
Joey, come on. Don't even go there because you had to beat freaking Garrett Gilbert. So don't even start, Joey. Don't go there.
I know, and that was your argument. That was your argument last year when the Eagles fan said that. So now you're trying to hammer us on the reverse of that.
Don't go there,
baby.
Dave, you can't tell me that you didn't think that McCarthy was a little stupid for leaving the starters in the second half.
I was no. Here's the thing. Well, like I said to you guys last week, I said that I wanted the Cowboys to play the Stars in the first half. I didn't think Dak was going to play in the fourth quarter. I mean,
that's
because
completely
McCarthy's
stupid to jeopardize those guys.
Joey, okay.
He's an idiot.
Damon's back.
An idiot that's 12-5 and won the division. And a Super Bowl champion. He's an idiot. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Super Bowl champion how many years ago?
Joey.
And who really won him that championship? Him or
Joey.
Aaron Rodgers' arm?
Joey, they won. Did they win it? It doesn't
I'm
matter.
just saying. Aaron Rodgers is wearing the belt.
Okay, then who won your Super Bowl? Frank Reich? Come on, Joey, stop. Just stop.
No. Frank Reich's out hunting with Carson Sharman Wentz.
Yeah, how about him, guys? Wow.
Joey's
I want to hear your car. I know it's weird, but I want to hear your Carson Wentz rant, Joey. I can't wait to hear it, man.
Hey, Dame, real quick. Did that game almost end up in a tie like we said it would last week? It was very close.
So
why did they call a timeout?
That was crazy.
I don't know. I can't figure that out.
That was crazy. What happened?
I mean,
yeah, you called it, man.
Dude, you don't call a timeout. The game's over. You both make the playoffs. I don't get it.
I don't get it either, Frank. I didn't understand it. It was totally blew my mind.
McCarthy move. That was a Mike McCarthy. I'm sorry, did I say that?
No, that's a Rich Coat. That's a Rich Coat type move.
I agree. That is a Rich Coat type move.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Then water got on my chart. What do you want me to say?
All right, so let me ask you guys a question. I want to ask you guys a legitimate question.
7-7. We're not a loser.
How long can Tom Brady do this? How long can Tom Brady play at the level that he's playing?
As long as he wants.
Until he's 50.
Can you? Can he feasibly quarterback until he's 50?
He's
got Spider-Man.
Good.
He's 44, right?
Yeah.
He's 44.
He's 44?
Yeah.
44, yes.
He's 44?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Dame, did you hear the stat? Man. Dame,
he's breaking up.
Yeah,
go ahead.
There was a stat that I heard this week that just,
I'm breaking up again?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
My entire life, at football, is nobody was better than Joe Montana as a quarterback, right? As far as I was concerned.
Same.
He's still the best in my book.
How many playoff wins does Joe Montana have?
How many? My God.
How many playoff wins?
Not even half as many as Tom Brady.
He has 16.
Yeah, Brady has 43, right?
Yeah.
No. Brady played in 43. He's won 34.
Okay.
Wow.
34 playoff wins. His percentage in the playoffs is .760.
Wow.
Has he ever lost a wild card? Guys, real quick, has he ever lost a wild card game?
What's that?
Has Brady ever lost a wild card game? I don't believe he has.
I don't.
Wait on tomorrow.
But basically,
the first time
he hasn't played in a wild card.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No, my question is, has he ever lost a wild card game?
Well, when he was in New England, he didn't have to play a wild card game that often.
Yeah, they never had to play a wild card game.
This is true.
I think it was a couple years ago when he left New England. That was the last time. I think it was only one time.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw out why we're throwing out records about Tom Brady. Do you know what Tom Brady's playoff record against the NFC East is?
I don't think it's good.
The worst against. Well, you would only see the NFC East in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Up until
last year.
Until last year and this year.
Is he 1-1?
No.
No, he lost twice to the Giants.
1-2.
He lost. Yeah, he lost twice to the Giants and once to us.
He's 1-3.
He's 1-3 against the NFC East.
Yeah, he don't like the NFC East.
They have his number for some reason.
That's because we play hardball here.
Yeah, when you're playing in the AFC East for a long time.
Even when our division sucks, we're still snot knockers.
Hey, TK, real quick, you cannot cost the NFC East anymore because we got 2 teams in the playoffs.
That's true.
Much better. I got it fixed, guys.
Can't cost the NFC East. What do you mean?
So
I'm saying you can't cost the NFC least anymore because we have 2 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly right.
Are we the only division? Are we the only division where everyone's won a Super Bowl? I'm curious about that.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yep, every team's won a Super Bowl.
I knew we were the last one for the longest time, but now that everyone's had a shot at it, we're the only division with the. So I'm still going back to Brady. Yeah, right. I'm still stuck on the fact that the dude appeared in 10 Super Bowls and won 7. I'm like,
amazing.
I'm like that. I saw them. Like I watched the Super Bowls, but I'm like, he was actually in 10 Super Bowls.
And all 3 losses were the NFC East. All 3 losses were the
NFC East.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
twice
crazy.
to the Giants.
Yeah.
You know what's ironic about that?
Eli.
Now here's the irony of that. The Buffalo Bills, which is the same division, lost all 4 of their Super Bowls to NFC teams.
Courtesy of
that's weird to me.
Courtesy of the Cowboys?
Once the Cowboys, Redskins, and the Giants. Yeah.
No. Okay.
Look, there's a point of pride for me to be in this division too, because this division does punch you in the mouth. It really does.
No doubt.
Not the NFC East is.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
You know, as far as history goes, it might be one of the best divisions in football.
I still think it is. I think it's one of the toughest ones in the league.
Look, in my opinion, we are the benchmark for the rest of the NFL. This division.
I agree.
That's why we always say. That's why Frank said it earlier.
Overall, not this. Well, I mean, this season's been pretty.
I mean,
I would think
Frank said it before. Is like when we play our interdivisional teams, it's always a punch in the face. You can't, no matter how bad the team is, you can't ever overlook them. And that is a point of we're not going to give you an inch for any.
No, we've always beat.
And a lot of teams and a lot of divisions. I mean, look at the Texans. Look at that division.
Well, I think the only other division that compares is the NFC Central. You know, the
Minnesota, Chicago,
Minnesota,
Bears,
Green Bay, Detroit,
NFC North.
The Norris division.
Guys, real quick, did you guys see the weather in Buffalo today? Oh my Lord, it's going to be like 2 degrees.
What is it?
It's going to be like 2.
2 degrees in Buffalo. Yeah,
I can't wait to watch, man.
Did you hear how much they're selling the tickets for at Buffalo? $40.
No, I didn't hear that.
$40 playoff tickets.
You're kidding.
Let's go up and watch the game.
Oh my God.
Let's go. Freeze your ass off.
The reason for that is because most of Buffalo Bills fans are from Canada and they can't come down because of the COVID restrictions.
Right.
That's crazy.
That sucks, eh?
Wow.
They have to go and milk their mooses.
So, TK, are we doing player predictions or what?
I'd pay cash money to see somebody try and milk a moose.
They gotta milk their mooses.
My nickname with my one group of buddies is Moose, and I don't want anyone ever. I don't want people to envision me being milked at any point.
Okay, that image is never coming out of my head.
Let's get it back to the Eagles.
I can't see that, but okay.
Never going to be able to dry erase that. Thank you, Tom. Never going to be able to dry erase that from my head.
Oh my God.
You're welcome, ladies. Enjoy that for the rest of your natural life.
That's a sight for sore eyes.
That and Jeffrey Lurie being naked.
All right, so let me start off. I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to ask this question, and then I'm going to start. I'm going to start it, and then I'm going to send it around to you guys. I want everybody to give me an Eagles playoff memory that means a lot to you, or that stands out to you. And Frank and Joey and myself were talking about this before the show started today. But 20 years ago this month, I went to pick up a ticket to an Eagles playoff game that was the last game ever at Veterans Stadium. And I went into that game, and Brian Mitchell almost took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, and I screamed so loud and so hard for so long during that kick return that I blew a blood vessel over my eye. My entire eye was red and bloodshot. That was that's the loudest I've ever heard any place that I've been at to watch a game. It was like if you had to check the Richter scale, it might have been like a 3.9 on the Richter scale.
I remember being Tom. I remember being in that game and I could feel the stadium shake.
Yeah, the whole stadium. It felt like an earthquake.
Yeah,
and then
I was at that game too.
It was an incredible game to be a part of. there was no way I was not going to be at the last Eagles game ever at the Vet. I just, from growing up as a kid, watching games in there, going with James's dad, when James's uncle couldn't go or something like that. It was, and then going with my dad too, just to watch them play in that building, even as shitty as the field was and the bad rap.
Was that the last ever game, or did the Phillies play that baseball season?
No, it was the last football game.
It was the last football.
It was the last football game. Yes.
Yeah, Citizens.
And it was also my worst. Summer. It was also, as I said it before the show started, it's the only game I ever went to that I left before the end of the game.
You did?
You left, Frank?
I couldn't.
Yeah,
Dave, I couldn't. I couldn't sit there and watch the end. I couldn't.
Frank got up and tried to run down Rondé Barber.
Disgusted. I didn't see the interception. I didn't see the Rondé Barber.
How much time was on the clock when you left? Do you remember?
Probably 9 minutes, 8-9 minutes.
Wow, that's a lot.
I was so distraught. I was so angry at Andy Reid for not running the football because that they played Tampa Bay earlier in the year, and how they beat Tampa Bay that day was they ran the football and their defensive line just quit. They did not like to stop the run, and when they went down the field, Mitchell runs the kickoff down to the 25-yard line, and they go 3 straight plays to deuce. I thought, man, they're going to run the ball down their throat. They're going to win this game easy.
Right.
And he started throwing the ball. And he didn't stop throwing the ball. And I'm like, I can't tell you. By the middle of the third quarter, my wife was everything to keep me in my seat because I was ready to kill. And I just looked at her halfway through the fourth quarter and said, I can't watch this anymore. I can't. We have to go. And
Was Carell still on the team? Carell Buckhalter?
He wasn't on that team, was he?
Yeah, but he had a blown ACL.
Yeah.
The second time he.
I meant for that game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he wasn't there for that game.
So Frank, were you in the 700 level when you were at the game or no?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Joe, I was in the 700 level.
Joe, Deal checks in and says, "I have nipples, Joe. Can you milk me?" It's getting out of hand here, folks. It is getting out of hand here.
I saw that, TK. I didn't want to touch that.
Tom. See what you started? Now that image.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't want to touch that. I didn't want to touch that.
I
no.
At least somebody loves you, Joey.
Hey, anybody want picks? $5 a pick. I got you.
At least somebody loves you, Joey.
Me milking Tom. So.
Oh God.
No, but that year I went to the Rams game, which was the last regular season game at the Vet. AJ Philly quarterback, and I was there at that game. My buddy Scott and I. But now I'm with you, Frank. That day, and TK, when you described the feeling, I watched it from home, but I could feel and hear the vibration of the Vet that night, right?
Oh man, and the game started. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was a 4:00 game, and the other thing was, I remember McNabb had just come back off the ankle injury, right?
Right.
And so I thought that the best game plan was to run the ball and not put everything on his shoulders. And I just think I always go back to that. That was the one game where I think Andy, if he could go back, he would tell you he should have stuck to the run a little bit more because that was the one to beat them. There was a lot of.
I think we would have smashed the Raiders in the Super Bowl if we had made it.
Absolutely,
of course we would.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there was a lot of bitterness that year for me because that's the year they let Jeremiah Trotter go, and we had we had Levon Kirkland as our middle linebacker who couldn't, he had cinder blocks tied to his back. I mean, the guy was slow as hell, and
he was done. He was done.
He was a shot player. I mean, he was a great player in Pittsburgh, but he was shot. And I mean, to have to watch that as opposed to Jeremiah Trotter was like pulling teeth to me. I mean, I really had a hard time.
Howard Eskin the other day brought up the safety that we had. Now I'm missing his name.
It was Bell. It was Bell from Chicago. Who shouldn't have played.
And the other guy that was hurt. That's you talking about, Joey? He was hurt, but he didn't tell anybody. The safety.
That was the safety, Bell. Yeah, he played for Chicago, and came to the Eagles. I'm pretty sure it was Bell, and he was hurt, and he shouldn't have played. That's why Jared Vicious got the touchdown because he couldn't cover him.
Absolutely. Well, look, I got 2 more questions for you guys, and then we'll get out of here because it's a little tougher when we're doing it from here than when we're all in the studio. I wanted to ask you guys, give me one thing you'll be looking for from this game tomorrow. I'm going to go to each one of you guys, and I'm going to go to each one of you guys with your scores. And James, I'm going to start with you. Give me one thing you'll be looking for from this Eagles team tomorrow.
Well, it's plain and simple. You got to obviously run the ball. If it's like fair weather tomorrow, like make sure you control the running of the football of the game. And the second thing is that keep Brady off the field. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Dave, how about you? If you had to look for one thing in this game,
get to Brady early and often. If you disrupt his game, he will be a different quarterback the whole game. And I can see the Eagles doing that.
Joe scores a checks, and it was Blaine Bishop.
Blaine Bishop, that's right.
Blaine Bishop, that's who thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Blaine Bishop.
All right, so Dame, I'll go to you. If you had to pick one thing that you're looking for tomorrow in this game, what are you looking for?
Patience on both sides of the field. What I mean by this, with the offense, the game plan has to be utilizing the run and sticking with it, and same with the defense. To James's point, have patience, but put that pressure on Brady, and no stupid penalties, Barnett.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm hoping they fucking Frank. If you're looking for one thing this game tomorrow, what are you looking for?
2 things. I don't want to see Gannon play the stupid Tampa 2 bend, but don't break because Brady will kill us.
Please, Frank. Please, Frank. Yes.
And I want to see this will tell us if the Eagles are going to win the game. We're going to know early. Can Hargrave and Cox collapse the middle? If they can keep Brady from stepping up and throwing in the middle, it's going to be a long day for Tampa. It's going to be a really long.
Hold on, Frank. What you mean is you want them to make him like move around, like make him a little uncomfortable back there.
He's not good. He doesn't do well going side to side, but when he slides up inside that pocket, when the offensive linemen push the tackles, or not the tackles, the center of the line sideways, he's great that way. He slides up and he buys himself time. Those 2 guys are the most important keys to the Eagles defense tomorrow. Can they collapse the middle?
Nice.
If I can just add to Frank's point, just real quick, Frank, I agree with you. That's why I'm hoping Sweat can play, because he can come around that edge while they're going up the middle to kind of sort of box him in a little bit. So hopefully he can play.
Is he still ill? I heard he was ill.
Who?
Yeah, last I heard. Hopefully, he made the trip. We'll see.
Yeah, Joey.
Last time I heard it, they're all playing.
How about you, Joe? One thing you might be you're looking for this team for tomorrow.
I'm going to go against the grain a little bit.
That's unusual.
Does that surprise you?
So
sarcasm.
I'm going to give a 2-prong success for the Eagles for tomorrow. Number 1, it has to start in the secondary for the Eagles defense. You have to play press on these guys. If it's going to be muddy and rainy and everything else, you have to get these guys off their spots. You're playing with receivers that don't normally play. Mike Evans is playing banged up, and the rest of the guys, Perriman and all those other guys, they're all guys that don't play the same amount of snaps as like a Godwin and everybody else. Keeping Gronk in check with TJ Edwards is going to be key as far as at least getting him off his spots. So the secondary is going to be key, which means I'm expecting a big game from Big Play Slay. Second point of reference: the Eagles have to control the game, meaning they have to monopolize most of the clock. Time of possession is key. You can't give Tom Brady a lot of time. Let him do what he's going to do, but you absorb most of that clock. You run the game, not both literally and figuratively. You have to, if it's a 60-minute game, it being a 60-minute game, 2/3 of that game should be in your hands, not Tom Brady's. Tom Brady monopolizes, huh?
No, I said ideally, yeah. I mean, that would be great.
Monopolizing most of that clock is going to get Tom Brady off his game because of 2 things. Number one, he's going to have to rush. He's going to have to put more focus on these younger guys that don't play that often. Number two, he's going to be dealing with he's going to be dealing with the NFC East. So he's going to be dealing with the type of team that's going to get in his face. And he doesn't like that. Jonathan Gannon, I have not been your biggest supporter this whole season. If you want to get on my good side, you better bring the noise.
He's not going to do it.
You better bring the noise.
Absolutely.
Well, hold on, real quick. Just to start with Joey said, Joey, you make a great point. So with that pressure that you're talking about, making them uncomfortable, to Frank's point, that's why those quarterbacks play up. We're not giving you 10 yards tomorrow. We're not giving you 10 yards. Definitely. And special teams have to show up. Special teams. Take care of the ball, get us good field position.
Let those Tampa Bay receivers earn every yard they get.
Yep, make them pay. Absolutely. Score predictions. Dave, I want to start with you, and I think you know why.
Start with me?
Yeah. Score predictions for this Eagles-Bucs game.
You go me first? I thought you said
Yes.
Okay. I thought you said Dame. Sorry. I have it close, actually. I have it very close. I got Tampa Bay 24, Philadelphia Eagles 20.
Okay. I kind of seen that coming. James, how about you? What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
I got the Eagles winning. I think they're going to win tomorrow, but I think it's going to come down to a game-winning field goal, 23-20. Good guys.
Ooh, Elliott wins it. Wow.
Elliott game-winning field goal. From 54 yards out.
It's going to be hard in 35-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah,
that's my
TK,
point.
honestly, I don't know. I'm still just kind of, but for the sake of the show, I'll say 26-21 Birds. Somehow the mud will get one of those bouncy plays will fall our way, Frank, and we'll get an interception or something to set us up to win the game. Something fluky is going to happen. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
26-21.
26-21 from Dame. Frank, how about you?
I see a 31-24 Cowboys loss.
Ooh.
And I see
always got to burn Dave on the way out, don't you, Frank?
27-24 Eagles win.
Okay, nice. I like that, Joe. Oh, Kathleen Eagles Strong also checks and says 27-24. Joe Marks, how about you? What's your your prediction for tomorrow?
I think this is going to be an ugly game.
Had to do it, Dave.
I honestly do.
I know. I hear
it's
you.
going to be a close game, but I think it's going to be an ugly game. I'm going to go 17-14 Eagles.
All right, 17-14 Birds. My prediction, if the Eagles hand the ball off more than 25 times, they win this game tomorrow. Okay? And I have a feeling it's going to be 28 or so times they're going to hand this ball off tomorrow. And I like the Philadelphia Eagles taking this one 24-17.
Ooh, nice. And Jalen Hurts gets a couple of those runs.
Yeah,
maybe?
100%. 100%. Yeah, a couple of design ones too. Well, listen, guys, I will see some of you guys down at the South House down in South Philly tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So before I get out of here, I want to invite anybody that's listening or tuned in or checking this out over the next 24 hours or so. Come on down to South House in South Philly. It's 2535 South 13th Street. We have a pregame and postgame brought to you by the Edge of Philly Sports, and obviously, our great friends over there at South House. I have drink specials, best wings in Philly. I said what I said, and if anybody has any problems with that, bring me the wings you think are better, and I'll be more than happy to eat them. So and let you know. So for Davey
Joey's.
For Davey Arnold, hold up. Frank, thank you for giving us our Cowboys-Cardinals score. I love that, man. Thank you, Frank.
Cowboys-Cardinals?
Cowboys-Niners.
Cowboys-Niners.
Cowboys-Niners, excuse me. Cowboys-Niners. Thanks, Frank, for giving me that score.
Gee, Frank, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it there.
That's
all
right,
I had to kick him, Dame. I had to kick him.
He kicks me when I'm – that's all right.
So come on out and see us tomorrow at South House for Davey Arnold, James Scorza, Damon Salim, my man Frank Finnegan, and, of course, Joseph Francis Marks. I am Tom Kelly. This is Pattison Ave Phanatics. Go Birds!
Go Birds! Great show. Later.
See y'all. Have a good night.